The Turks and Caicos Islands play their first ever full 15-a-side Rugby International this coming Saturday. The opponents are Jamaica, but the first thing I wanted to ask their captain Sean O'Neill was, where exactly are the Turks and Caicos Islands?
The Turks and Caicos Islands are 700 miles southeast of Miami. It's a group of of over 40 islands and keys, of which about 8 are populated. The capital is Grand Turk, although the commercial centre is Providenciales, and that's the island that I live on, and that's where most of the rugby in the island is based.
And okay, looking at this game, because obviously I know from having known you in college, it's been a long road for the TNC to make it to this level. Uh, how did this game come about against Jamaica?
Well, the rugby union was formed 11 years ago, and since then we've played against touring sides coming down from the US and from Canada, and then we used to play games occasionally against British warships when they were docked in the area. Since then, we have sent 2 teams to the NACRA, which is the North American Caribbean Rugby Association, to their sevens tournaments. We sent a team to the competition in Barbados in 2011 rather, and we sent a team to the Bahamas 4 years before. We also used to play regular games against an older side from the Bahamas. They're called the Cracked Conch. And that used to fill out our schedule. In the last couple of years, we opened our own field that we now own. We're the only rugby union in North America and the Caribbean that owns their own facility. With that, we were able to develop the sport here and get more young players coming in. Out of our squad of 23 for the match next week, 3 of the players are under 19s players.
And of course, people listening to this interview, they'll notice that you don't exactly have the most West Indian accent. So just explain a bit about yourself here, Sean. So you're captain of CNC, and you are from there originally, but there is a reason you sound Irish.
Yeah, I was born in Grand Turk, but then when I was 12, I went to boarding school in Clongowes. So that's where I really learned to play rugby. And then I went to UCD before working in a few places around Europe, and coming back here.
And of course, in Clongowes, I know that you yourself were quite a passionate rugby player. You played with some pretty big names out there.
Yeah, while I was there, Rob Carney was a couple of years behind me. Gordon Darcy was a few years ahead of me. There's a lot of talent that goes through Clongowes, and you can see now there's a lot more focus in developing those players into provincial and international players.
And have you heard much word back from your old buddies in school, or your old buddies in Ireland about this game coming up? Is there much talk about it?
I have. I've heard a fair bit of feedback from my old club, Old Wesley, and then from some of the guys that I've been in school with as well.
And I know, obviously, because TNT it's a fairly small place, my understanding, population-wise. Will you guys be streaming this game at all, or will there be any way to follow it?
It's going to be streamed. I don't think we're going to have the ability to stream it live because we don't have wireless facilities down at the field. But afterwards, we're going to have it streamed. I can't confirm. It's either on, there's 2 local channels, PTV8 or WIV.
Well, it's fantastic as well, of course, that you're finally getting to the 15-a-side level. And I know, because we were in college together, just for people listening, it was you were always sort of looking forward to going back and playing some rugby over there. For you personally, what's it mean to be finally going out in the blue and red for TNC at a full 15-a-side international?
Oh, it's great. To be captain as well, and to be playing our first full international match at home against Jamaica, which is a country that we have a long history with. At one point, we were annexed to Jamaica. So to be able to lead the team out, and with the large Jamaican population that's here, there's definitely a good rivalry between the 2 countries. I think we're going to have a great opportunity to go out and give the Jamaicans a bit of a shock.
And I was looking at that because people are going, well, it's your first game. There's not much being expected, but from the players you see around you, because you've been training with these guys for a long time, what are you hoping for out of this game?
We're hoping for a win.
And experience-wise, would most of the players have grown up playing on TNC, or would they be like yourself, maybe have gone to school abroad and played a bit there?
It's a combination. You've got expat players who are originally from England, Ireland, New Zealand, Canada, and then that's combined with younger guys who've only taken up the game in the last couple of years. And then you have the others in the middle who come from kind of rugby playing nations like Guyana, but who've been playing here for 5, 6, 7 years.
And I suppose looking at sort of you yourself, where you're going to be playing, because I recall I once played a sevens game with you in college. We got hammered badly, I recall that, but you're a pretty big guy, but you're very fast for your size, I got to say. So where will you actually be positioned on Saturday?
I'm playing tight head.
All right, so in the pretty fast prop for that level, it's got to be said. And looking at Jamaica, because obviously I saw on your site for the TCI, and we'll be linked to that on the page for anyone listening off-site. If you go to action81.com, Jamaica, of course, played Mexico in a World Cup qualifier. What have you seen as Jamaicans, I suppose, that you see as areas, I suppose you can target them?
Well, I mean, the Jamaicans, not a shock to anybody. They're pretty quick. We played them in the sevens in the round robin in Barbados 2 years ago, and they were very fast. They want to move the ball around. From watching that game against Mexico, they like to kick the ball over the top and a bit of chip and chase. I think with our game, we just need to be structured. We need to hold on to the ball and use the experience that we have on the field, and hope that we have some very quick players as well, and that when they get their opportunity, they'll make a break.
And obviously, not to use the word novel, but again, people don't really know the TNC as well. So in terms of anthems, what are you guys be playing? Because you're part of the British West Indies, so will it be God Save the Queen, or is there a TNC anthem?
No, we play God Save the Queen.
All right, and so that'll be interesting. That against the Jamaica one is always a fascinating combination of anthems. So just looking at, because I know you're charging very little in, it's only $1 into the game, which is going to be great value. I'm guessing most of our listeners can't go because of the flight. Looking at the game itself, obviously this is the first step for you guys. Are you looking at World Cup qualifiers, if not for the next World Cup, for the one after, as a long-term goal?
At the moment, we are we're members of NACRA. We're not full members of the IRB, so we're not eligible to compete in the World Cup qualifiers. That's for the same reason that we didn't go to the sevens last year, because that was a qualifying event for the Sevens World Cup. From this, we're looking towards the second round of matches in the middle of February, and it continues on until the summer, when the two regions, the North American region, is broken into North and South for these games to allow teams ease of travel. And from that, we'll be looking to. They say we're only charging $1 for people to get in. We want people to be there. We want people to get more involved in rugby. I think we've seen a real boom in the numbers in the last 2 years. We want that to continue to grow. We sent an under-19s team up to Toronto last summer, and they did very well. They narrowly lost to Bermuda's under-19s in a sevens match on the last play of the match. And then they're looking towards the NACRA under-19s tournament in Trinidad in June.
And I suppose just looking, I suppose, at the long-term plans, and have you guys talked to the IRB yet about the application for full membership, or how does that work?
Oh yeah, no, we've been working on that for a while. We got admitted to as members to NACRA as associate members first last year, and it's a matter of ticking the boxes to move our way up.
And of course, a good performance against Jamaica again would hardly hurt.
No, I think it will help a lot. Ourselves and Curaçao both became associate members at the same time last year, and Curaçao beat St. Vincent in the first of these matches last night.
That's fantastic. And just for anyone listening, that's actually Saturday just passed, because of course we're recording this on Sunday ahead of the game. And it was finally shown, because you've played a bit at schools, you're obviously playing back home. In terms of the development of the game, how have you seen the quality of the rugby you've seen in TNC grow since you moved back home?
Oh, it's been enormous. The guys who 5 or 6 years ago, when guys were doing junior rugby training, it was done down the beach, and it was just trying to get the kids involved. Now you have anywhere between 50 and 80 kids coming down on a Saturday to train. We've got a full-time rugby development officer who's out working in the schools to promote the game. And you really have a community of supporters. We don't get grants from the IRB. We don't get any money to help us develop the game here. Everything that we do is through fundraising that the club puts in, and it's a real, while it's a union and we have a number of clubs that are beneath that, and we're starting our National Rugby Championship the week after the Jamaica game, it still really is a club atmosphere. We all chip in. If things need to get done, we call on the community, and it's great because the people in the community here realise the effort that people are putting in and making sure that kids are able to go out and take part in sport, and that it's important that the kids are able to take part in a variety of sports. And rugby is definitely making great strides to become the biggest sport here. We still have a lot more we need to do, and the fact that you have to explain so much of rugby to people makes it a little bit more difficult. But we're very excited, and we think that in the next couple of years, particularly starting with this game on Saturday, we're going to have the opportunity to get the sport to grow and really introduce it to people who've never even watched a game on TV.
Well, Sean, thanks a lot. We're meant to be unbiased on the site, but screw that. Best of luck against Jamaica. I hope to beat them. Good luck Saturday, and we hope to hear back from you afterwards about how the game went.
All right, thanks very much, Emmett. Appreciate it.
Cheers.